Let's talk a little bit of whiteboarding today, covering the importance of centralization of your marketing automation tools, as well as what's new over at Infusionsoft. Travis Campbell here of MarketingProfessor.com, and I'm glad you're watching this video. We're going to try a bit of chalk talk, or not chalk talk, but whiteboarding time. Got a new tool, and I'll talk about it perhaps in a future video, but I'm going to test it out for now. Any online business, any business really, as an entity, you have activities surrounding that business. So you'll have different channels of activity depending on the nature of the business, but common to that is going to be a website. So you've got a website, and then to that website you might have systems to get you traffic. So maybe you have SEO that drives traffic to the site, and once you've got a site that's doing well and getting traffic, it happens pretty much automatically. Of course, certainly rankings fluctuate based on changes to the search engine's algorithms, but generally it just drives traffic. Same thing with PPC. You need to monitor the campaigns, but ultimately once they're set up and dialed in, it automates traffic to your website. And then from your website you might have an e-commerce piece. You might have maybe an email marketing piece, and these pieces can be fragmented. You might be using Outlook for your email marketing. You might be using a CRM that's on your PC. You might be using an autoresponder. So you get the idea. There's different entities and components. All of us have multiple components of automation and non-automation that tie in to our businesses. So everything ties into here. A lot of these function online back to our website. As there are new layers of complexity added, new entities, you get a new traffic source. We haven't even talked about social media. That's another piece that needs to be managed. Okay, so there's more components that need to be managed in your business, and really decentralizing your business in some ways. So none of us can escape from that. Technology is helping and improving this, but I don't anticipate it'll ever be wiped away. So let's talk a little bit about the importance of centralizing. As you remove your dependence on certain things, multiple layers, maybe you'll have an e-commerce site, and then you'll have your financial data, and then you'll have email marketing data, lead source data, campaign tracking, that type of stuff. If those things can be centralized in one platform, on one e-commerce platform or one CRM platform, that's obviously going to work to your advantage. Now what I want to talk about is the challenge that has been present for marketers for some time, and one company's approach to try and solve that. Now, if you're anything like me, you can appreciate simplification of complex concepts. So you get super complex, and then the goal is to, how can I distill that down to something simple and actionable that I can do? A company called Infusionsoft has been teaching a methodology they call the perfect customer lifecycle, that takes all the chaos and multiple systems and methodologies and puts it all on one sheet of paper in these 7 compartments called the perfect customer lifecycle. And what's really been helpful to a lot of small businesses is just mapping out what happens. So if you get traffic to a website, and this web page has an opt-in form, right? And then this is a place where customers can opt in and get on your list, and you can get them to a situation where they've opted in, and then you want to have a methodology to nurture these people. So you get traffic, you capture that traffic, and then you nurture them, and then you move them along to where they become a customer. You then deliver the goods to that customer, and you want to deliver obviously in a way that they find remarkable, and you wow them to the point where they want to maybe buy more from you. We'll just call that as an upsell. And ultimately, that they would love you enough to refer more business to you. As they refer more business to you, then you know what happens, right? You get more people getting into your sales funnel. So this is essentially how this works, and this is something called the Perfect Customer Lifecycle put up by the folks at Infusionsoft. So the challenge, however, has been when you go to implement that, there's all kinds of ways to implement that and kinds of tools, and Infusionsoft has responded in the marketplace. So with the spring release of Infusionsoft, they've really revamped the user interface. You can see here there's a softer look and feel. It's much more intuitive with these different sections if you want to work in different parts of the application. One of the great things about Infusionsoft is that it's powerful. Marketing Professor has been powered by Infusionsoft since the beginning. It's a powerful all-in-one sales and marketing automation suite. But it's also challenging because it's not always been easy to harness the power. So this is a great stride forward by simplifying the user interface and making it easy for new users to get around faster. They also have introduced web tracking of visitors. They're calling web analytics, so they can track who is coming to the site and from what lead sources. This allows small businesses to understand what campaigns are paying off in terms of sales and leads, etc., services, sales, so on. Next up, there's lead scoring. So this is allowing you to quickly understand who is hot. It has like this flame system. So if it's 5 flames, it's a hot lead. If it's 2 flames, it probably needs a little bit of nurturing. So this is also built on their tagging system to help understand how hot a lead is. There's also e-commerce enhancements, which makes it easier for customers to make their e-commerce piece of Infusionsoft look more like their style and their brand. But what I want to focus on is this new campaign builder. And so I'm going to just hop over to this section here called Campaign Builder, and it really is a drag and drop interface. You can see I've created a test campaign here. Here's a new campaign, and you get the opportunity to drop down your traffic sources. I just put Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, but you can see the traffic sources you can pull from. It's just a graphical interface for you as a small business marketer. Really, any small business owner can use this if they can drag and drop on the board here to drag and drop and know what visually is going on in a campaign. So you specify goals and then sequences. So here I just simply told it it's a blog. They're signing up for a newsletter, and if I double click that, it's going to bring up the web form creator, and you can drag and drop and create the web form just like you want. Configure your thank you page and get the code to put on your blog or your website. You also can designate what triggered this goal to occur. In this case, they're submitting a web form. But then when you drill into the welcome sequence, it takes you to another visual component tied to their follow-up sequence or their sequences. And so in this case, they start and they get a congratulatory email, and all you do is you just double click and it opens the actual email for you to edit or configure. So I just put some generic text here. Again, you get a similar look and feel of a drag and drop type of experience. They get a tag, they get a note applied, and then you can create a task as well, maybe a phone call go out, and then you wait 15 minutes or any designated amount of time. They have these delay timers that are pretty flexible, and you can do it to hours, days, a week, or immediately, and you can specify the time on which those run. All times are Eastern Standard Time. So very compelling, and then they offer a live view. I haven't got to test that out yet, but the live view lets you know how the campaign is functioning and how it's working. And each one of these can be designated as an edit mode as draft or ready. So if I go back to sequence and this is ready, it's ready to go. This email is not, and this campaign is not, but I can quickly switch that over to ready, go back to the campaign, and you see now it's changed to blue, which means it's ready to go. Very compelling interface changes. I think that Infusionsoft has hit a home run with this, quite honestly. And I realize I'm biased for a multitude of reasons, but if Infusionsoft, if centralizing your marketing automation is important, which I believe it is to any business, but if it's important to your business, Infusionsoft is trying to make it easier by taking the power that is Infusionsoft and make it simpler for small businesses to get started faster so they can get quicker results. Once you set these things up, they're in motion and they just need to be fed. So I'd encourage you to check it out. Again, this is Travis Campbell at marketingprofessor.com talking to you today about the importance of centralizing your marketing automation tools, as well as what Infusionsoft is doing to make it easier for their customers.